It's me, Jimmy Fallon, and you're watching the Disney Channel. I think my ramen is boiling over. Shit. Marker. Why am I doing that? Why am I slating? My microphone's not even plugged in right now. My name is Jordan Billio, and I'm currently enrolled in the Art of Drag class, which is taught by Justin LeBlanc, aka Project Runway Season 12 contestant, aka my favorite. Actually, wait, I feel like okay. Okay, you know what? No. With all that being said, I've decided that my final project will be an interview. The thing is, I've already done the interview. In fact, I've recorded this interview before, done all the questions, and it didn't record. It technically did record, but it got corrupted. So if I were to show you the actual clip...
Testing. I don't need to do that. Sherry, babe.
So yeah. Luckily for me, the interviewee has decided to do a redo. So yeah, she has decided to do some big charity work for me. I'm the charity. So, just starting off, what is your name, stage name, and pronouns?
My name is Mikey. My stage name is Kylie Mooncakes, and my pronouns are she, they.
Perfect. So, what would you say your title of your occupation is? Performer, entertainer?
I usually say drag performer, drag entertainer. I feel like drag queen is the common one, but I prefer, more actively using the gender neutral expression.
So, where did you grow up and where are you currently working out of?
I grew up in the Eastern Washington area. I spent a little between that and China. After that, I pretty much spent my time in the greater Seattle area and still work in the city of Seattle.
What would you say is one of the biggest obstacles that you've had to combat in order to get to where you are today?
Well, I am what people would say a third culture kind of person. Living in America, kind of navigating all of that, then still continuing to self-actualize myself above that. Coming into the ballroom scene as a performer of color, there's definitely times where I've needed to maybe work twice as hard in order to gain maybe half the recognition.
And that's a topic that in this Art of Drag class covered a lot, how there's that added layer when you're a person of color and you're performing. And kind of going along with that, what do you think is the importance, if any, for children to have representation of them in media that looks like them?
I think insanely important. I feel like I didn't really have a lot of Asian performers that were active in the scene when I came in. And I feel like a huge part of the origins of drag and the origins of ballroom came out of a need for okay, we're not seeing creators and artists and entertainers like us. Let's just create something that can be a representation of what we can do.
Yeah, exactly. Making that space for yourself. Adding on to that, who were your biggest influences growing up?
I feel in terms of relating to my identity, I didn't necessarily have a lot. I was really interested as a kid where pop stars. So Britney Spears, Beyonce, Mariah really inspired me. Then when it came to finding people who looked like me, I really took K-pop on. I'm Chinese, but Wonder Girls, Girls' Generation. I don't think I knew many actors other than Lucy Liu and then Brenda Song. So
I know for me, Wendy Wu, Homecoming Warrior with Brenda Song really just really influenced me.
1000%. That's so cool, actually.
When and what was your first experience in drag?
So I had been at this club for a while, Neighbors. I had been a go-go dancer there. It just seemed to me the logical steps to get to be in the scene. And eventually, one of the performers there asked me when do you want to start doing drag? And I was yeah, I'd love that. I was supported a lot by the ballroom house I was in at the time, and My mother at the time, J Dynasty, who also is like a half Asian woman. I remember like the day I was about to like perform, I still hadn't really figured out my makeup yet. She kind of did my makeup for me that night. So like I've definitely grown a lot since then.
Is there anyone in the space that you believe best exemplifies what you see as being a staple in the drag community?
Damn. I feel like when I started doing drag, J Dynasty was one of them. Definitely what I think drew me to her and inspired me was that like she was very outspoken. She was always just like saying the first thing that came to her mind. So that definitely inspired me in some ways. Also at the same time, Cookie Couture, people that like seeing them when I was really coming up in the scene, breaking boundaries of like what drag should look like. Like you can be as weird as you want or as freaky or like however you want, as long as like you look good and you can do a sickening lip sync.
I think that's really important, especially in this kind of community where you're embracing queerness and how there's just an entire spectrum of what it means to really, you know, be campy and perform. Another question I have, what is like the most absurd misconception that you've encountered regarding you personally or your work in performing?
I feel like there's like a conversation growing about how drag is like a danger to like children or like their morality. But I remember I did like a library gig a long time ago. There were like sneaky conservative parents there that like, even though I was fully covered up, they went to my like Instagram and found like a different video of me like being sexy and then posted online and being like, this is what your kids are watching. I think the misconception is like drag as an art is not like inherently sexual or adult or risque. It's at the end of the day just like expressing like different aspects of your gender and your identity. Just like a singer and a performer can be like, you can do an adult show and you can do a kid's show. Drag queens very easily can do that too.
She's versatile. She can do everything.
I'll say in addition, another like major misconception that gets made within like people kind of viewing drag casually is they see Drag Race and now even to an extent Dragula is like a finite end all be all for drag. But that is like the tops of drag performers as decided on by a panel of like people who are deciding it. And if you go somewhere and it doesn't look like what you see on TV, that doesn't mean one, it's not drag, and that doesn't mean two, it's not good drag.
If you could say anything to your past self or even to young questioning creatives out there, what would you say?
My first thought is everything that you need and everything that you believe in, you already have within you. You just gotta like keep going, because I feel like rules are meant to be broken. You're meant to be the limitless amount of like what you are. So I think right now my advice, at least for a younger me, would be like, I think you know what you want. Just continue to like believe in that.
So finally, is there anything that you'd like to plug or promote to this class of students that are obviously interested in drag and performing and the arts?
If you all love drag, continue to support local drag, because Chicago has such a beautiful blossoming scene of like unboundless like creativity. However, if you ever find yourself in Seattle, come through, follow. My Instagram is xmooncakes. I throw a couple different shows, kick back with my best friend Issa, and Yay, which is my own show. I care about giving more opportunities to just like younger performers who haven't gotten their footing in the scene yet. Also, I have a show called Asian Glow. It's just a celebration of like queer, trans, Asian POC identity. And yeah, I think that's what I got going on.
Cool. Okay. Well, thank you so much. And I hope you have a great day.
Hope you have a great day as well. Thank you so much for having me again.
Yes, of course. Okay, bye. Transition. Hopefully I remembered to actually do that at the end of the interview. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, listening, and in conclusion, Jimmy Fallon, I'm coming for your ass.
A drag queen has ever been put on the cover
A drag
queen. A drag queen.